Hi, I'm Lauren Rochetti, and I'm recording my 35 hours video for the autism certificate. And for my 35 hours, I was at my school that I work at Hinton Area Elementary in Summers County, West Virginia. And the class I've been in has been my same classroom for 3 years now. But a lot of more of my newer students that are in pre-K and kindergarten are diagnosed with autism. So I ended up coming and getting my autism certificate and my master's in autism. So yeah, and but in the first 35 hours, I have helped a lot with behavior interventions. I have 2 consultative kids. Then I have another student who ended up getting a device for communications. My cat was trying to get on me. And I helped implement that into our daily schedule and, help work with him on that so he can have his words. And I also implement sign language into my classroom. And I use that daily for small actions, vocabulary. I have it for a lot of my students' words because many of my students in my classroom are nonverbal. So it's an easy way and a more accessible way for them to communicate with others around them. And I feel more personal because many of those people that live in the community that I teach in do come from very poor, in a sense, or low SES houses, incomes, all that kind of stuff. So they definitely we don't have as much services and everything that other counties, other places that have more population, probably more resources and everything have. So I figured that sign language would be an easier route to go because it's readily available. You use your hands and everything else, and my students have picked up on it. One of the ways that I have implemented sign language and will help to really kind of teach it, is for one of my more severe kids. He ended up actually signing more and eat to me. And the way we worked with him with that is, my cat's hit my hand, I'm sorry. But the way we worked with him on that was using a actual marshmallow. He loves marshmallows. So I'd be like, so-and-so eat, eat. And I'd show him the marshmallow and he would have to touch his mouth. It wasn't maybe the correct hand form, but he started touching his mouth. And it helped him a lot. And now it's reduced his behaviors because now he does have his words. He's not getting as frustrated with us when he is hungry or he wants more of something. He's not getting as angry because he can actually say it. And then I've helped with 2 behavior interventions for 2 kids that recently have qualified for services where they are autistic, and I'm the only autism certified teacher in my school, but they are too high for my room, so they're consultative. So, and they come in for behavioral services at the end of the day for the last 30 minutes. And with that, I work on the goals that are on their behavior plans, and their IEP goals that we have written for behavior to better help their behavior, and those simple tasks. One of the kids that I do have, my student number 2, he ended up, we first off had a one-on-one aid because he ended up having behaviors, and we were talking about once this aid works for a little bit, we'll try and wean him down because he will have to go into a regular classroom, he's too high. And he also has had a lot of trauma and issues relating to domestic violence and stuff within the home and the foster care system. So he's had a lot of issues in his little life. Well, they ended up, some event happened. I don't know. None of us really know what went on. Well, his behavior started to digress. Well, then, not digress, regress. And then one aide, the aide that he was originally working with, Alyssa, ended up getting transferred to another school because she was just filling in until we've had the application process finished. Well, she applied for the job, and somebody who had like one more day seniority ended up getting it. And now they don't really know how to work with him or understand him or anything like that. And he now has had to have a behavior intervention, or not a behavior intervention, FBA on him done. And then we've developed a behavior intervention plan for him because his behaviors have gotten worse. He's gotten more violent and everything else, and volatile as well. So with that, we've came up with a plan for him. Especially his big reward is his iPad. He is obsessed with iPads and drawing, and his targeted behaviors are, staying in his seat. Cursing is one of the behaviors we have to work on, because he will just look at you and say, cuss you till you blue in your face. And then he also hits and kicks and bites and scratches and spits. He does all that kind of stuff. So he has a lot of behaviors like that, especially if he gets told no or doesn't get his way. And then he also he experiences those when he is overwhelmed and overstimulated, which is generally pretty typical, but you still need to work with them and stuff. And then we also implement a lot of instruction. A lot of my stuff was 3s and 4s, because a lot of it is what I do on a daily basis in my classroom for my students that I do have. So a lot of the instructional techniques I do a lot of airless learning. And for me, airless learning is phenomenal. I talk about it a lot. It is awesome. It basically is a technique that's used in ABA therapy, where you have two of the same things, and you're like, say you have 2 green squares, and you ask them, which one is the green square? Well, they pick one. Good job. I'm so proud of you. Even though they're the same, like 2 objects or 3 objects, it at least gives them that opportunity to pick it, and they're great. And it doesn't allow them to have time to learn the mistake. So instead of, having blue and pink, which one's the pink square, and they pick the blue square, they don't learn that mistake. They have no time to learn that mistake. They learn only the correct answer. And then, of course, you can throw in an opposite color and have them pick it later once they've reached, they've went past that and they're above that. Another thing I use is task boxes, which I love. It's basically not really busy work, but activities that my students can do independently that, is matching. It can be put their letters of their name in the correct order, that kind of stuff. I use that a lot. What else is on that list? I also have visual schedules in my classroom, and if and then for my students, one of my visual schedules for one of my students, he is very scheduled oriented. He has to know what he's done and what he's finished so he can see his reward. So if and then does not work for him. He has to have every little tiny minute detail. So, breakfast, arrival. He will go over, take the arrival sticker symbol, put it on the done side. Breakfast, done. Morning meeting, done. Read a book, done. This, done. This, done. This, done. This, done. This, done. This, done. And then he gets his iPad. So he is very, very schedule oriented. And so far, my placement has been awesome. I can't wait for you guys to hear more about my placement. Bye.